a few years, ocean acidification became one of the main problems of our oceans. Sadly, the problem of acidification is invisible and its effects are not felt, unlike temperature increase or rising sea level. There is more and more CO2 in the air. During the last 10 years, scientists realized that the excess CO2 resulting from industrial activities has changed the chemical composition of our oceans. Ocean acidification is the gradual decline pH of seawater caused by human pollutions. The ocean becomes more and more acidic, which disturbs the ecosystem. The lower the pH, the more acidic the liquid.
The average pH of the oceans is normally around 8.25. This level allows optimal development of marine life. Today it will be around 8.14, an increase of 0.1 of pH. Furthermore, ocean acidification impacts on marine biodiversity. Marine animals population decreased by 49 between 1970 and 2012. Among the marine species affected by this phenomenon, there are the plankton and the corals. Ocean acidification affects ocean plankton's ability to renew itself. Many species of plankton need a specific pH to grow.
If the pH is too low, the species fail to grow. But the plankton is at the base of the marine ecosystem. It's the foundation of the food chain, but mostly it contributes to the ocean oxygenation, so it will have an impact on the biodiversity in general. Then, the corals are animals, often to the calcareous structure, and are the basis of the ecological environments rich in biodiversity, the coral reefs. By degrading, the corals carry with them an entire ecosystem of fish.
To begin, the most source of acidity in water is dissolved carbon dioxide. Carbon is subject to balances. Not all the CO2 emitted is present in the atmosphere. It is also present in the ground, vegetation, and oceans. There are some exchanges between these places. The carbon dioxide enters the water trough equilibrium with the atmosphere.
Oceans release almost as much CO2 each year as they absorb from the atmosphere. In fact, they are linked. But there is about 45 to 50 times more CO2 in water than in the atmosphere. It's around 840 gigaton in the atmosphere for 40,000 gigaton in the sea. Every year, as we produce more CO2, they absorb more. We can understand by its figure the importance of oceans. They absorb a lot of CO2. To give you an idea, they have absorbed about 40% of human CO2 emission since the Industrial Revolutions. This is huge. The acidity is explained by the presence and therefore the concentration of H+ ions in a solution, the C in our subject. The concentration can vary dramatically. To this, we use the pH, hydrogen potential, is a unit of measurement the acidity in logarithmic scale between 1 to 14. When the pH is higher than 7, the solution is basic. When the pH is lower than 7, the solution is acid. And when the solution is 7, the solution is neutral. But, for example, if we multiply the acidity by 10, it decreases by 1. If we multiply the acidity by 100, it decreases by 2. And if we multiply the acidity by 1000, it decreases by 3.
In the sea, the normal pH is about 8.2. The ocean is basic. When we talk about ocean acidification, it means that there are more and more hydrogen ions than hydroxide ions. Hydroxide ions are responsible of the basicity. We can't say that the oceans become acidic because pH is not lower than 7, but the pH is decreasing. When CO2 enters the water, it breaks down into carbonic acid in different steps. When CO2 combines with ocean water, it produces carbonic acid. This chemical compound can turn into bicarbonate ions, losing hydrogen ions. Plus, these bicarbonate ions lose hydrogen ions to form carbonate ions. And for your information, these chemical transformations are reversible. We see with these chemical transformations that hydrogen ions appear, and we know that the higher the concentration of H+, the lower the pH of seawater. So, seawater becomes more acidic. The consequences can be heavy for the ecosystem. They can be dramatic, even if a pH drop of 0.1 seems low.
First, hydrogen ions damages shells. Shells are made of calcium carbonate, CaCO3, which contains carbonate ions, CO3 2-, and calcium ions, Ca2+. However, hydrogen ions destroy carbonate ions to form bicarbonate ions, HCO3-. Therefore, shells may dissolve and they become more and more small. They can't normally grow. Furthermore, the ocean acidification, H+, affects ocean plankton's ability to be self-sustaining. Many species of plankton need a specific pH to grow. If the pH is too low, these species fail to grow. But the plankton is the source of the marine ecosystem, foundation of the food chain. It mostly contributes to the ocean's oxygenation, so to the oxygen's production in the atmosphere. If the plankton population collapses, it will have a big consequence about the amount of oxygen in the air we breathe.
Plus, the ocean acidification is dangerous for coral reefs. Corals are animals characterized by their limestone structure and are the basis of ecological environments rich in biodiversity. Like a plankton, the corals are struggling to grow their structure, so they are more vulnerable and they degrade. By degrading, the corals carry with them an entire ecosystem of fish and seaweed. We can conclude that the more CO2 there is, the less marine species. But if we don't act, the seawater will decrease more and more, and it could decline by 0.3 units of pH in 2100. It's
We are going to do the first experience.
To do it, we use a pH meter on a pH electrode.
I'm going to blow on the water for dissolve the CO2.
And we are going to saw how the pH change. Leanne is going to blow. And we can see that the pH decrease. It's very important decreasing.
Now we are going to try again this experience with salt water. To show what's going on in oceans, we did an experiment. We put two types of shells in different liquids to determine their impact on them. We arranged the two kinds of shellfish in glass jars, one with a soft shell and another one with an harder shell to see the different degradations. Before, we weighed the two mussels and the two shells thanks to a scale. We put salt water, similar to seawater, and hydrochloric acid in the first jar, and we put a 1.49 gram mussel and a 3.43 gram shell. In the second jar, there are distilled water, hydrochloric acid with a 1.8 gram mussel and a 4.12 gram shell.
We measure the pH directly after we do before. We get for the first experiment a pH of 1.5 and for the second experiment we get a pH of 0.5. As soon as the shells are in the mixture, we can see small bubbles appear on their surface. When we look at the jars again, there is no obvious change. Then we put off the shells after 1 week, we weigh them again. We are getting for the first experiment 1.48 gram for the mussel and 3.41 gram for the shell. For the second experiment, we are getting 1.76 gram for the mussel and 4.09 gram for the shell. We have been able to observe that the weight of our shells have dropped slightly, so it means that hydrogen ions node shells to form bicarbonate ions.
We get for the first experiment a pH of 7,21 and for the second experiment we get a pH of 8,16. We have been able to observe that the pH increased. Then we want to see if the two solutions change anything about their resistance to a shock. We try to destroy our shells with a pylon by different heights in the purpose to see their resistance. There is little prominent with this experience, only saltwater would be exploitable because it can reflect the condition in the sea. Indeed, water is not distilled.
To conclude, we saw that CO2 emission is a big problem for the marine ecosystem. In fact, CO2 is absorbed by the ocean, it provokes many chemical transformations and causes the increase of hydrogen ions in seawater, so the increase of its pH. This is the ocean acidification.
The presence of hydrogen ions in big quantities prevents shells and other marine species from growing normally. So, the more CO2 varies, the less marine species varies.
To remedy that, we must decrease our CO2 emissions, and we can give you some advices and we hope that you will take them. If you have to make a short trip, make it with your bicycle instead of using your car. You could adopt a flexible driving, keep a constant speed, for example. If you need a car, buy a cleaner one. For example, don't be fooled by the Volkswagen car manufacturer. And you can sort your emails. You have no idea how it produces CO2.